Okay, everybody keeps asking, Trevor, when are you going to make a video about making sourdough bread? I'm relenting. Okay, here's what you're going to need. You're going to need 50 grams of all purpose flour, already weighed, 50 grams of warm filtered water. Some people will say don't use water out of the tap, it's got chlorine. If you really want to be a purist, do what I did, pour some water out of your filtered water in the fridge, heat it up in the microwave. You're going to need a digital scale. None of this, oh, a quarter cup of this with a half a cup of this. No, it's garbage, it's baking, it's precise. Weigh it out. Chopstick. A metal chopstick. It's pretty badass. You're going to need a little container to grow your starter in. And eventually, you will transfer it to a bigger container. I recommend a coffee filter or a paper towel ripped in half and a little elastic. Okay, so all you do is... Alright, so you got your flour there. Add your water and you mix it together. Okay. Like most things with sourdough, it's kind of a 1-to-1 ratio. And when you mix flour and water together, it can be dry and shaggy. You'll hear that term a lot. Or it can be wet and gloppy. Sometimes it just depends on what the environment is like right now. Okay, so that's your feed right there. That's all you need to do. Just mix it together. Make sure there's no dry clumps. That's all you got to do. Time jump! Okay, through the magic of editing, I've put the feed into this little jar. Okay, so this little jar is going to be where the feed stays just for like the first day or two. Okay, so this is 50 grams of water, 50 grams of flour, and tomorrow we're going to add the exact same thing, maybe to this jar, maybe to the bigger jar. I didn't really think this through. Okay. All you need to know about what a starter is there are like yeast all around us. Okay. They're in the air. And what you're doing, and yeast, they need protein to feed on. And there are protein strands on the end of flour. So all the yeast that are in the air, they kind of come into this little party you're throwing. You're like, you know what? Yeast are like stray cats. Okay? You're like, psst, psst, come in, I have food for you. Okay? And what you do is you create a little environment for them to have like a little party. You know, they're just gonna come and, you know, they're just gonna chow. And yeast don't have a problem with being flatulent, because what yeast are doing is they're coming in here through this breathable air filter. They're going to come in here. They're going to eat the protein that's in the food that you've given them. And they're going to fart out the CO2 that you want that will eventually be your sourdough starter. You're not going to see anything for 2 or 3 days. We're going to feed it tomorrow. We're going to feed it again on day 3. And on day 3, we'll probably discard some of it. It'll be in this. We'll pour some out. We'll scoop the sides down. We'll be like anal retentive clean. And then we'll feed it probably at that point with about 100 grams of flour and 100 grams of water. Okay? And then probably on like day 3 or day 4, we'll start to see little bubbles in there. And that's all the yeast just farting. Okay? And then probably a couple days after that, day like 7 or so, it'll be like, this will be what it's like when we go to feed it in the morning. And then it'll like rise up to here, and it'll be all these bubbles. All those bubbles, that's your starter. Or as the French call it, levain. And then on day 7 or 8, when we think this thing is ready to go, we will scoop a little bit of it into a bowl of warm water, and then when it floats to the top, you have a sourdough starter. Okay, we're back, day 2. Here's our starter. This is the one we fed yesterday. The top, I don't know if you can tell in there, but the top of it starts to get a little bit dry and crusty. It's fine, it's totally normal. Get your chopstick in there, stir it around. And I was talking to a buddy of mine, Earl, yesterday. Hi, Earl. he was saying that the book that the recipe that he was following suggested discarding every single day. This is not what I've heard. Okay, I have always heard that for the first 3 days that you are feeding your starter, you're just feeding it. And I think that the thinking behind that is that what you're trying to do right now is you're inviting everyone to the party. You're saying, hey, come on in. There's tons to eat. You're not going to go hungry. So yeah, first 3 days. And what I'm doing right here is I had another 50 grams of flour and 50 grams of water that I mixed together. And I have added that to my starter. Now, tomorrow, for sure, I will have to move this into this. And that's fine, because that's where it'll live from now on. So I'm just making sure that everything is stirred up. What you're doing is you're passing all the food around the party. That's all I can say. And now we are going to just clean off that chopstick. Okay. Let's get anal retentive. Clean. And the reason you clean is just so you can see, where your starting point is. And like on my starter, Vito, because you have to name your starter, and Vito's just awesome name. I put an elastic band where my starter is when I feed it, so then I can watch it go up and down. Okay, so that's it. That's all you're doing for day 2. You're just adding 50 of water and flour to this. You are covering it back up. Nighty night. Good night. And that's all you're doing for today. See you tomorrow. Okay, special day 2.5 update. This happened. I've never seen this happen on day 2 of a starter. This is crazy. There's bubbles. You're not going to be able to see, but there's bubbles all up in here. So what I'm doing is I'm going to give it the feed that I would give it on day 3, which is what you would do, which is you're going to mix 75 grams of your flour and water, and then you're going to just mix it with this. You're not going to throw away. You're not going to discard yet. That's all you're doing. 75 and 75. Mix it with this. See you tomorrow. Okay, so in case it wasn't clear, I have now put all that starter from the first 2 days and today's feed in the new big jar. I'm going to put an elastic band around here, and we're going to watch it grow because this thing is going crazy fast. Hello, sourdough starter, day 4, 5, and 6. Okay, because it's because day 4, 5, and 6 are all the same. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to dump out about 60% of your starter, and then you're going to feed it with 75 to 100 grams of flour, same amount of water. I mean, 100 is great, but flour ain't cheap, and there's not a lot going around. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to dump some out, feed it for days 4, 5, and 6. You'll probably see some bubbles. It might be a little bit hard or crusty on the top. Don't worry about it. Dump that part out or mix it in. Doesn't matter. We'll see you on day 7. All right, here's the day 5 update. I fed the starter the same this morning as I did yesterday. I dumped about 60% of it down the drain, and then I fed it with about 100 grams of flour and water, and the elastic band shows you where it started, and it got, can you see it? All the way to the top almost. So it probably tripled in size. So basically that means that it's ready to go. When you give it a smell, I mean, it's not strong, but when I give my starter a smell, the one that I've been growing for about a year and a half or 2 years, it smells like vinegar, and it's tangy and it's tart, and that's what you want. So while the new one that's 5 days old will make your bread rise, it just won't have that tart sourdough flavor. All right, so here we are on day 7. I did the same thing on day 4, 5, 6, and 7. I dumped out about 50 to 60%, 100 grams of flour and water, and ooh, when you smell it now, it smells like vinegar. I mean, that's means it's good to go. But the final test we're going to do later on this afternoon. When I come home, so if you can see right there, got an elastic band for, you know, basically where the starter is. And then this thing over the course of the next 4 to 8 hours will probably more than double. It'll probably be right at the lid there. I may have even put a little bit too much in, but if you don't have an explosion every now and again with your sourdough starter, you're just not having fun. So later on when I get home from work, we're going to check this baby and I'm going to show you how to do a water test, which is kind of the last little test to know whether or not. You do the smell test, make sure it smells like vinegar, and then later on, once it's done like a good rise, you do a water test, and that's when we're going to know if you are ready to bake. Okay, so it is about 4.5 hours after we fed the starter on day 7. If you'll remember, we had a elastic band down here, and we have seen, look at those bubbles. Look at all that, okay? It's basically up at the top. It's bubbly. It's soft. Apparently that's something you're supposed to look for. You want them to be like soft and rounded. That's when it's like it's at its most active. Right now, because it's less than 8 or 12 hours, this is what we call a young starter. Some recipes suggest you use a young starter where you feed it and then you use it in your sourdough bread 4 hours later. Some say 12. I like to go 4 because I'm impatient and it's too hard to time out bread that's going to take a day and a half to basically bake. So here we go, 7 days in. I mean, it doesn't smell as vinegary right now, but when it goes down, like when I smelt it this morning, I got a huge waft of vinegar. So that's what you want. So last thing to do before you bake with this is to do a water test. Okay, you don't need a bowl this big. It's just that it's clear and I wanted you to be able to see what I was doing. All you do for a water test is you spoon out some of your lovely starter, drop it in the water, and look at that. She's floating. I guess you're a girl. So there you go. It's floating. It means that the yeast is active. Now, the last thing on this, if you want to have a starter that has a really like strong flavor and is active and has an amazing tang to it, you're gonna want to keep it on your counter and feed it daily. I think the first time that I started a starter, I did it for about 3 or 4 months, maybe 6. I was baking a lot, so it didn't really matter. But if you're not going to bake a lot or you just don't really care about having like that full-on tang, I've heard you can keep starters in the fridge for up to a week. What I like to do is I like to say 5 or 6 days. So what I do is I take Vito out of the fridge. I let them warm up for about an hour or so. I discard some. I give them, whatever feed. Depends on how much. It's all about ratios, how much I leave in there to how much I feed. I let them go through a good rise and fall cycle, and then I put them back in the fridge, and I just put a little V on the calendar for what day it was. And then usually every 5 or 6 days, I kind of think, oh, it's been a while. Got to pull Vito out. And one time, Vito, it looked like, he was separating and there was a bit of a clear liquid on top, and I didn't know what it was. I still don't. The point is that I got rid of that clear liquid. I got rid of, maybe a little bit from the top. I cleaned out his container. I kept him on the counter and I fed him twice a day for about a week or so. I basically, it was CPR for my starter, and he's great. Super great. Amazing, actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use this starter that we have grown over the course of the last 7 days to make a couple loaves of bread, and that'll be my next video.